Hello, you can tell I'm working because everything's in a mess. I've been struggling to find the pieces that go into there. I have found some. There's one. What I've just done is I've had to adapt. Well, it was a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I've had to, this piece that goes inside I've taken from somewhere, from a different one, and I've had to, can you see there where I've kind of peeled back that crimping, and I've took the old one out and inserted this one in, and even then I've had to solder the wires into it, which I believe I have done, and I had to solder the earth wire on as well. This is from a later 100E, but the problem was that the socket bit inside was no good, and these bayonet onto here, yeah, and these go on there. So I need to, there's like an old sort of washer thing that goes inside there, like a seal, so I need to see if I can make a new one of those. It's took me about 3 hours to get that to that stage there. Luckily I was able to find this. The car didn't have either of these on this piece, it just had the remnants of that there. Luckily I have got old tubs of stuff to wade through, and I did manage to find two. There's one, here is another, and you can see I've got to, and what I've done there, look, I've drilled holes through the things, and I'm going to thread the wire through and solder it on, so that'll get me my other one that I need. Fingers crossed then, that'll get me another little piece of the jigsaw sorted out. Okay, thanks a lot then, catch you on the next one. Hello, I'm going to try putting some clear silicone around these things here. This could be a disaster. Let's see how it goes. This is fresh, I've just bought this. I put a bit of silver paint on these. Kind of a bit of a dark silver, isn't it? But hey. See what that dries like. Okay, I'll leave that all to dry, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, I've given those a little bit of silver paint, and I'll give it a dusting over with that weld through primer, because I think it's a slightly lighter shade. So I'm just going to let those dry, and they're sitting there with the silicone sealant on. I think I'll let those dry as well, because I don't really want to glue them onto here. I just want it to act as a gasket in effect. So I want some screws for here. The old screws, I don't know what size they are, but they're almost exactly 4mm. So I'm going to order some 4mm stainless screws, or see if I can get some locally. But what I thought I'd do is get some to go in here on the rear light cluster. So I'm just using my belt finger sander to basically grind the nuts off the back of the bolts. I'm not going to try and undo them because I don't want to crack the lens. This one is actually loose. I've got two out. I've ground through those. Whether the screws will come out is another matter, but you know, one step at a time. So I just thought I'd show a little bit of this. I've done that one, go do this one. That was loose on there and I've welded it in effect. Let me go and see if I can loosen these off. Oh, got like a window there. That must be like for a, I don't know, for a number plate lamp in a different, you know, a different application. Weird, isn't it? Ever wish you'd left something alone? Okay. I'll put oil down so it goes down the threads. The only other thing I can think, well, a couple of things I can think of doing is one, try and drill them out, but that's going to be virtually impossible. And secondly, is heat the screws up so it in effect melts the plastic, and then try and screw them out while they're still warm. It's just too fragile though, isn't it? Everything's just too fragile. It's just, I'm going to wreck it. I might have to just glue it back on, maybe. Get it in place and glue it on. I might try drilling them out on the milling machine. There's my vise for my drilling machine. I can hold that screw and that screw in the jaws, and then if I can centre effectively over, I can then start to drill down. Yeah, I think I might try and do that. Okay, righto. Back in a bit then. These need to dry, and then I can assemble these up. But so these are done other than assembling, but they need to dry first. That doesn't look too bad, to be honest, that one. A nice light silvery sort of colour. Yeah, these all look okay. These have been repaired. I've got screws on order for there. Oh, something else came today. These are the bushes for the shackles on the rear spring. Now I've got those, and I've got the other ones in the house. That will allow me to take the rear springs off and clean the rear springs up. So that'll be something I can do. You know, I've got all these different things to do. It's just working out what to do and in what order. The channel around the boot I don't think that's going to get done on this first iteration. Sorry, I'm just waffling now because I don't know what to do. Logically, what I suppose I want to do is do everything that involves underneath the car, which means scraping off all the boot floor and everything, scraping off all that area there, scraping off all that area there, cleaning and painting everything. See, the car is actually standing on the springs, so I can't take the springs off. I'll leave it like it is for now, but once I've cleaned all the floor and everything, I'll support it here on the back of the sill, each side, and then get the springs out, clean the springs up, and you know, get all the rust off them, and get those reassembled. Springs back in, axle in, new joints in the prop shaft. Yeah, there's lots to do, isn't there? I just need to work out the order. Okay, I'll continue to faff around with little bits and pieces, and then I'll start launching into some more work to get the job moving forward. Okay, I'll bring it back when I decide what I'm going to do. Cheers then. Back in a bit. Hello. I set this thing up on the milling machine, and I did get that screw out, although I did break a little piece off the plastic there. Still, it is out at least. Would you believe I used this little centre drill and broke it whilst trying to start that one going? So I'd got this carbide drill, and that's just drilled the centre drill remnant out, and it does look reasonably centered in there, so I'm going to continue to drill it, but obviously this carbide drill is much too big, so I'm gonna have to think about what I can do there. I might try and use this little slot drill. That's where I caught my finger with a grinder the other day. You may have seen me wearing a plaster in some of the videos. Carbide drill, brilliant. Drilled out the broken off point of that drill. Okay, back in a bit then. I'm going to just wind the table down so you can look straight down. I'm using this drill, which is a 3-pointed drill. I think it's carbide, I'm not sure. Yeah, that looks pretty good, to be honest. Let's I think I'll just continue with that. Okay, the hole is coming out oversize, but you know, what can you do? That drill really is very sharp actually. Okay, I'll continue. I can buy new ones of these, just that they are expensive, but you know, if I have to buy them, I have to buy them. Let me go and see if I can turn it out. Well, that got it out, but it's bust a piece out. hopeless, isn't it? These crap bolts that were put in. And you can see how far I'd got. There's still some metal in there, look. But some of it came out. Leave it with me and I'll see what I can do. Hello. I did manage to get the screws drilled out. There's a hint of one remaining there, but the hole is big enough for the screw to go through. I've got the little bit that come from there, so I can glue that back on. I could buy some new ones, but they are really expensive. It'd be like £100 virtually for the pair. I think they're like about £45 each. But I can glue that on, and I've ordered some stainless screws, so that'll screw on, you know, okay, I think. So the question is, do I bother trying to do anything with this one, or shall I just leave it? I might just leave it. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. Okay. Yep. So that is okay. I need to find the remnants of the gasket. Make sure I've got all the pieces of the gasket. I've assembled one of the surrounds onto the lamp there. And there's the backing piece painted up, and I put one of them together and just done a trial fit into the you know, headlamp surround, and I think it looks okay. These are Allen bolts which I won't keep, but I just wanted to fit that up and see how it looked, and I think it looks okay. Like I said, I've ordered some stainless screws, so hopefully they'll look okay with a shiny screw in there. So this one can be assembled and I can put it in there. So yeah, looking good. Lots of, you know, lots of little detail, little jobs. and goes on there. There's probably like 3 days work getting that light in there. At least 2 days work, I'm not sure, I'll have to have a look. Just little bit by little bit by little bit. But doing that rear light took me a long time. Think about how to do the other one. I might do it differently than I did that one. Similar but different, I suspect. Anyway, it's beginning to look okay now. You can imagine if that was in place, it'd look alright, wouldn't it? So take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello, welcome to another day at Mart's garage. This is one of those days where, you know, you spend 2 hours in the garage and at the end of it you've got nothing to show. I'm not saying I haven't done anything, but nothing looks any different. Okay, there is a subtle difference. Both of these lights are now assembled and fitted. All the back plates have been cleaned. I've put temporary screws in, which are little Allen bolts, but they're fitted. The other thing that I did was some screws arrived that I ordered. These are number 10 raised countersunk Phillips, and they are 45mm or 1.75" long, and I've used those there, and they're just the right length and just the right size to fit those clips. On this one I had to fit a little, I might as well show you, hang on. On this one I had to make a little surround for the clip because the clip kept falling through. But that's in there, it's firmly attached. And as you can see, I fitted the bulb and the bulb holder at the back. So that's in now. And you can see my little tin trays there. So that there has to bend up and away. This fits in there. And, hang on, let's have a look. And that goes in there, and that screws into that clip. Before I've tested it and made sure everything works, I haven't fitted the nut on the back, but to be honest, just with that one screw there, it's pretty secure. Last night I used the milling machine to rescue this lens. You can see where I drilled it oversized there. You can see where I drilled. That one's got the remnants of a bolt, but I did get it out enough to be able to put a bolt through. So what I've done is I've ordered some new screws to go in there. This one I did differently, and I made sure that I didn't get the screws too hot, because what happened here was I got the screws hot and they kind of melted into the plastic. So on this one I cut the nuts off these two, and you can see where I went down with the disc. I sort of slitted the nuts and broke the nuts up, and then was able to move the screws in the plastic and slowly work them out. So they can go back on with new bolts when they arrive. Okay. Just these little fiddly jobs, they can take a long time. I can buy new ones of these, but they're very expensive. And these for now fit the overall theme of the car, which is kind of barn find scruffy. I've more or less come to what I can do at the moment, because I'm not dressed for getting very dirty. And the next phases of the job involve getting very dirty, which is to get underneath and scrape everything underneath and wire brush everything underneath and paint everything underneath. Once that's done, I can reposition the jacks and get the springs out, rework the springs because I got those bushes, and then put the axle back in. And before I put the axle in, I want to put the exhaust in, things like this. I need to just plot it out on a piece of paper, exactly the order in which I want to do things. Okay, but yeah, progress, making good progress really. You know, there's tons of things I haven't accounted for. You know, putting the seats in, putting the upholstery back in, things like that. And I haven't even looked at things like replacing the headliner. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do, isn't there? Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? Get the back seat in, get the trim back on, get the seats in, get the upholstery in. But let me think about how I want to do it, and I'll make my mind up and I'll do a bit. I'm talking bollocks, aren't I? Okay, I will work out what I want to do, and when I do it, I'll bring you back to show you what I've done. Okay, take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. As you've seen over the last few days, I've put the headlights in and the side lights and the grille, and I've just put the front bumper back on exactly as it was when I removed it. As you can see, it's rather badly deformed on this side, where it's probably had like a tow rope around it or chains or something. It's been yanked around on this side. So I'm going to try and just reduce the worst of that damage. I don't know whether it's best to try and do it off the car or on the car, but I'm just going to get a bit brutal with it. I do know that all of the bolts and fixings at the back of it are completely rusted. There's absolutely no chance of undoing any of the fixings, so I can't get the chrome trim off. I'll have a job putting the number plate brackets on, to be honest. But anyway, nonetheless, I'll try and knock these dents out a bit. And what I'm thinking I'll do is just use that copper mallet there and put something behind it to kind of back it up. I think it's taken on a bit of a twist as well. This one's bending down. So I've just got to get a little bit medieval on its ass and sort it out. I'll take it off to see if I can get better access. think that's not too bad, you know, for sort of 10 minutes work. It's as good as I'm going to do, really. I have got another one. I have got a better one. But like I say, the chances of these coming undone are pretty well zero. That's quite badly damaged there. So, you know, it can go on like it is. I'll give it a go at straightening it. It don't look too bad. I mean, okay, yeah, it looks crap, doesn't it? Because it's just old paint, but it's not too bad. And, you know, it kind of fits in with the style of the car. I had to pull that side up a bit. It was a little bit uneven. I think it still needs pushing up a little bit. I think the bracket got bent down when they were towing with it. But when it's back down on the ground, I'll feel a bit happier about giving a bit of a, you know, more of a sort of heave-ho. But yeah, it doesn't look bad for sort of 10 minutes hammering and dollying. If it wasn't for the marks in the paint, you would, you know, it wouldn't be so noticeable. It looks okay, I think. And as you can see, it kind of disguises all the bodywork further down where I've done all those repairs. You know, all that just blends into the background now. So that was worthwhile, wasn't it? Anyway, hey ho. That's off the list then. What I want to do is, again, another bite the bullet job. Clean underneath the car, scrape it all off and put a coat of paint on the whole underside of the car. I've done the middle part and I did a bit at the front, but I haven't done anything back here and back there. So that will keep me busy for a couple of days. I'm going to get that all cleaned off, wire wheeled, scraped and painted. Okay, yeah, I don't mind that look. I think it looks okay. I'm going to call it good at that for the front end. The front end sheet metal is all fitted, all the correct bolts where I can, suitable replacement bolts where I can't, new clips throughout, and everything's on, everything's serviceable. Well, okay, I haven't tested the lights yet, but you know, that's easier to do when it's on the ground because you can reach over the wings easier. So with the lights in place, all the side lights repaired, the wires repaired, the harnesses repaired. It's another little chapter closed, isn't it? And I just slung the bumper on because I might as well put it on as, you know, leave it off. So with that little chapter done, all the front end there, let's call it good now and move on to whatever's next. But for now, thank you very much for joining me in the garage. Thanks very much for following along. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.